Hey, what's going on, everyone? Sly here with Flo. So, Flo, man, Jalen Graham, we made so many videos about him, and then it was kind of ironic how we made a video about him during the season. Like, when's this guy gonna be active? 2 days later, he's active. Shout out to John Lynch Shannon for watching our videos. But now he's actually finally gonna get playing time. We know Dre Greenlaw's probably gonna play one series, or not at all. He shouldn't play at all. Fred Warner, same thing, sit him out. And so he's finally gonna have his chance. It seemed like every time they brought a rookie up, it was D Winters. D Winters came in, looked all right, didn't look bad at all. But Jalen Graham hasn't had one snap on the defensive side. What do you think about this? Him finally getting his opportunity last week of the season.
Yeah, man, I like it. Obviously, it makes sense with all these guys sitting, and him and D Winters, man, they're going to be our linebackers of the future. Obviously, Fred Warner has a lot left in him, but these two guys, these are going to be the guys who are going to have to take over because Dre Greenlaw, he's pretty solid, but I don't see him being that long-term second linebacker. I think eventually one of these two guys is going to have to replace him. And Jalen Graham, man, I liked him. Coming out of Purdue, he looked the part. He just looked like he had the instincts. I know he's not the fastest of the guys, but he just knows how to take a lot of good angles. I like that sometimes more than these speedsters, because sometimes these speed guys, they don't know the angles to take, and they freaking whiff on these tackles, and you end up freaking costing your team big. And I think this guy, I think he's going to be legit, man. I really do. Hopefully he proves it this week because he's finally getting that opportunity. But me and you, like, we've been waiting for this. That last time we said, when we're going to see this guy, he got his first start. It was a special teams, but he still got to see the field a little bit. And this time, I think he's actually going to get a decent amount of reps in, and hopefully he does something special to show the upcoming seasons that this is going to be one of the guys that we could put in there at a second or third linebacker.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Out of my rookie class going into it, the guys who I was looking forward to the most, my pound for pound list in boxing terms, it was Robert Beal. Second was Graham. And so, to tell you the truth, to finally see him out there, man, I know a lot of people are selling their tickets. I heard a few buddies say, "Oh, I want to sell my tickets." The only reason I kind of really want to go is to see these young cats, man. I want to see Beal. I want to see Graham. I want to see Luter. And it's just exciting to see because he was a guy in the rookie mini camp that was a standout. And remember last year we covered when Jordan Mason and the rookie mini camp, they were saying he was the standout. So, I mean, I was so like, okay, man, so far so good. Then OTAs, one of the better players out there. I was like, okay, then mini camp. So it just kept going on and on. And then in preseason, he looked the part. He had one mistake where he did have that Dre Greenlaw where he did hit a guy after the play. And I was like, come on, dude. I know Dre Greenlaw's rubbing off on you. But he looked good, though. He looked really good. He was smart out there. And you're right. He's not the fastest guy. I think he ran like a 4.6 something, like a 4.64. He's a convert. He used to play safety. But you hear that all the time, man, where these guys that play safety in college, Brian Urlacher, remember, I think it was Arizona State, yeah. And then he went to the Chicago Bears, and one of the best linebackers.
I think it was New Mexico.
Was it New Mexico?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, and he goes out to the Bears, and he's one of the best players out there. And for some reason, he's able to cover. Like, he covered dang receivers. That's what excites me about him. He just has that natural act of covering people. And, I mean, if there's big tight ends out there, you want a guy that could cover, and he's a big body dude that could cover. Now, I get it. I was hearing Steve Wilkes about 2 weeks ago talk about, you know what, we have D Winters in there more because he's been playing more that natural position of linebacker, you know. And D Winters, not to get anything wrong, I think he's actually a really good player too at TCU. Guy that could play sideline to sideline, that 4 or 5 speed. So he's like that prototypical linebacker that you love out there. But something about Graham, I don't know. He just has the instincts where you don't have to have the fastest time if you know exactly where you're going. And that's what Jalen Graham does. He hits the hole like nothing else. Like, I see that and I'm like, all right, this guy knows exactly what he's doing. You were saying in another video, the 4-year starter at Purdue, man. Exactly. The experience is out there. So he played with the professional NFL quarterback too, Aiden O'Connell. So he was there and was practicing. He was getting a lot of data, learning a lot of stuff. So, I mean, I'm pumped up. Like, I just can't wait to see this guy. And Steve Wilkes, yeah, like I said, he said that D Winters, that's why he was able to play more. But once this guy gets his opportunity, I think we're just not going to look back, because every day, I'm telling you guys, in training camp, every article I read, it was a play. Oh, Graham, look at him, tackle for loss. Oh, Graham knocked the ball down. Graham in coverage to break up the pass. Graham in coverage, covering tight ends. It was impressive, man. So, I mean, there's one guy right there. I don't want to sound like a fanboy, because I'm not, but he's someone you got to look out for this week. And he impressed me already with that when he was on special teams. He made that big thudding hit at the like 16-yard line about 3 weeks ago. I think last week he was actually inactive, but this week, no doubt about my mind, this guy's going to be in uniform out there ready to ball.
But yeah, you're definitely right about the instincts. It just seems like he knows where that ball's gonna be, and it always seems like he's always gonna make a play on that ball too, which I like. Whether it's like in his highlights where he's going for those strips, it looks like he's really aggressive trying to get that ball out. But he could also play freaking, like you said, like kind of Urlacher-esque, where he could cover these guys, because he had a few picks when he was at his time at Purdue, and then that experience. 4-year starter. Usually you don't get those true freshmen starting in college football, so for him to be able to do that, obviously it's Purdue, it's not the biggest of D1 schools, but still, regardless, to be able to start on a D1 program your first year, that means usually you know the game, and that comes down to his instinct. So, man, I'm really looking forward to this guy, seeing what he could do, and I think he's going to do good this game. It's going to be good.
Yeah, and you know what? We're looking next year to have who's going to play Sam, because I don't know if Flanagan Fowles, I think his contract's up, and then Oren Burks, I believe his contract's up. Oren Burks, I'll be honest, he's actually been pretty solid for us in that third linebacker spot. Not a guy that's missing a lot of tackles. He's kind of undersized, but overall he's been good. But I'm looking for a guy like Al-Jair. Al-Jair, his last year with the Niners, he was really good. He was really coming on. Those games where guys were hurt, he was getting 15. I think one game almost 20 tackles a game. So we're looking for that right there. And if we could find that, I mean, I'm telling you right now, like, this defense is still going to be at that top level. And that's what you got to do when you start losing guys getting older. You're trying to find guys within that could come in, step up, late round picks, and find gems, man. I remember when Kyle Shanahan was talking about Jalen Graham, he was like, you know what, we're kind of bummed out because it was between who we want, Jalen Graham, D Winners. They went with D Winners, and they're kind of bummed out. But Jalen Graham, he fell to us, and I mean, it's awesome. And I love, again, going back to the coaching staff, Steve Wilkes was like pumped. He was like, dude, these young guys, Darrell Luter Jr., Graham, he was just calling them by name, Robert Beal. He was like, man, this scouting department is really, they're on fire. So, and that's Steve Wilkes saying that, you know, these old-time coaches like Fangio, they really don't give the young guys credit. I know Fangio, man, especially would never say good things about the rookies. Maybe Alden Smith, but other than that, he was always, no, man, BS. I'm not going to say nothing nice about it. But him talking about these young guys, I mean, it really excites you about this week, seeing all these young guys come in, and hopefully he's out there and he steps up, because I personally, he's going to be a good player. In my mind, even if whatever, he has one tackle or whatever, in my mind, he's going to get better and better, figure out that role of linebacker, and he's going to be a stud, man. In my opinion, this guy's going to be a stud, so that's someone definitely should be watching out for.
Yeah, man, and then the great thing on top of that, it's a late rookie round contract, so obviously we've been paying these other guys their money, so you got to hit on these kind of draft picks later on, because obviously you can't pay everyone. So if you get contracts like these, man, it's just a huge freaking blessing for your team. So hopefully both these young linebackers pan out, and we'll see what Jalen Graham got this going on this weekend.
And I'm not sure if Dre Greenlaw, if he has 1-2 years left. I think maybe next year's his last year. So you're trying to find someone for the future, because you know that Dre Greenlaw, he's going to want his money, and we can't pay everybody. Obviously, there's so many dudes, and in 2 years, obviously, Brock Purdy is going to, you know, he deserves his. So sometimes you just got to find these young cats out there that can perform and save some money out there. So very exciting to see him finally get his opportunity. And I recommend, guys, you should be watching these young cats, because we have a lot of young, talented guys out there that are finally going to get their opportunity.
All right, well, you guys let us know in the comments what you guys think about Jalen Graham getting a start. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. See y'all next time.
Peace.